Hello, welcome to Games Gone By episode. I don't know what episode it is. This is going to be a new intro for the beginning ones because we never actually made this an intro. If you listen to it, this is just a segment from Blue Rupees. Now he's just gone. I'm Adrian. The one that you see there is Redman. You got David here. No, that's Gore. This is our book club that we do on our podcast, Blue Rupees. We post this about once a month. We're going through our backlog and reposting episodes. It's too late for this right now. We're posting this up as standalone episodes right now, and because we never actually recorded an intro, people are gonna see how happy you are in this intro, and then see you're just like.
That's from Bad Lieutenant. That's the one where he says, "No panties."
All right. This is our video game book club podcast, though. We're gonna put this at the beginning of the first couple episodes. I don't know how many times you might see it. You might see it 1, 2, maybe 3. I don't know how many times actually. We'll see.
Probably 4.
Or 4 or 5, and you're gonna just see that little giggling Gus over there having a good time.
Pictures.
Yeah, you can follow us at Games Gone By, brp@bluerupees.com. You can email us. And honestly, at this point, if you email us about any sort of impressions you have on any game that we played, we love to read them. Just kind of get impressions from the back catalog. Because we do, especially for different seasons, we will go back and look back at the games that we did play.
Hell yeah.
There. Good way to send it off. We love everyone. Enjoy.
Fuck you. There you go.
All right, welcome back. This is Games Gone By for Last of Us. If you're tuning in from the... well, I guess David just doesn't care.
That's The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's Last of David. If you're tuning in to just this episode, I'm Adrian. Got David here. Got Gore here. And this is our retrospective sister podcast inside of a podcast. You're joining us from Blue Rupees. Welcome back after your 5-second intermission. We do book clubs on video games. Do one every month, and we usually fit a couple more in between too. Today we're doing The Last of Us.
Hell yeah.
This was a pick from Gore.
Perfect timing, too. Last week we were like, oh, not great timing because it got delayed, and now it's like the perfect timing.
Yep,
like,
there you go.
It switched from not perfect to not perfect to perfect again. So.
And right in time for spoilers, too.
Yeah.
So if you're tuning in for the first time, too, we have a set schedule on when we do these episodes. The next episode will be in 2 weeks on May 14th. It'll be a fan-picked one, which was chosen by, or nominated by Gore, which is Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. The following episode will be 2 weeks after that. May 28th will be David's pick for the month, Chrono Trigger. The following month, June 25th episode, mine will be Nier Automata. The one following that will be Shadow of the Colossus, which is another Gore pick. And then the final pick before we reshuffle and switch up the rules a little bit will be David's pick with Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, which if you're tuning in for the first time, Gore is very excited.
And if you're in the audio podcast, he gave a double thumbs up with the best grin in the world. He's a happy boy.
It's really I can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I'm sure.
Who's your favorite character in that game to like hang out with?
Oh, Swarmy Boy. Swarmy Boy's my favorite. He's the little guy.
All right. So this week though, we're going all on The Last of Us. This was let's preface this with at least a quick thing before I let Gore go into why he picked it. Me and Gore played this when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first time revisiting it since launch. Gore, you've revisited it a few times, or
no? I played it twice. And I got halfway through when the remaster came out, and I didn't finish it.
Okay, so you've been through it a couple times though.
Yeah.
And this is David's first time.
I watched a lot of playthroughs too, I should say. So the story was still fresh in my head.
Yeah. See, I didn't touch it even playthrough wise, but we will talk about that in a second. So Gore, give us a spiel. Why did you pick The Last of Us? Besides being a PlayStation shill.
Yeah. Well, obviously I have to keep the this means PlayStation now, but
for the extra PlayStation, the button.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Xbox doesn't have. Oh wait, it does. But the reason why I picked Last of Us Remastered, I guess, is because of course The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out. The Last of Us Remastered is considered one of the best games of the last ever. Period. the last ever, but everybody considers it one of the greatest games ever, and I loved it when it first came out. That was a really, really good year, 2013, because like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, we had Tomb Raider, which I thought was great. And then we had Bioshock, Last of Us, GTA 5. Like, there's so many great games. Yeah, he'll go through. But yeah, and of course, Last of Us Part 2 was supposed to come out. So when I picked this, it was still supposed to come out next month, but of course now it's delayed. But it's only been delayed a couple weeks, so it's coming out in June, but it also got leaked and shit. We all know that. But yeah, it's just a fantastic game. I just wanted to revisit and talk about it. And now we're gonna hear what other good games came out in 2013.
So in 2013, yeah, Tomb Raider did
Bioshock.
When did Journey come out?
Maybe 2013? That's not, maybe 2012.
No, 2012.
Yeah.
Other games that came out here, let's see. Ni no Kuni, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Okay, yeah.
Tomb Raider, Mario 3D World, Bioshock Infinite, Last of Us.
GTA 5.
GTA 5.
Yeah.
Rayman Legends, which is awesome.
Yeah. A lot of great games.
Great. And then also started of a new generation. That was Xbox One and PS4's launch year too.
Crazy year. So it's such great classics like Knack. That's it. That's all it's out for it.
But anyways, yeah. So you picked it because of the legacy, and
and also I want to play it again. But yeah, it's widely considered one of the best games ever. So and when it comes to its story, for sure. I want to see if it held up gameplay wise, and I should preface this: I didn't finish the game when we did this because I picked this game because Adrian has picked games in the past where he doesn't need to play them again because he's played them a lot. So this was a one time where I wanted to pick a game where I didn't have to fucking worry about because I have a huge backlog and I don't have to worry.
With Chrono Trigger.
Exactly, but I still played quite a bit into it. Like actually, I would say. I'm only like maybe 5 hours away from finishing it again.
You're halfway.
I'm more than halfway. I would say.
Okay.
I would say that's more than halfway, right?
I think the game's about 10 hours.
Yeah. No, I'm about to. No, it's, I don't know. Is it?
I think I beat it in about 10 or 11 hours.
Really? I feel like it's a little longer than that.
I was following a walkthrough on YouTube, and it was 10 hours.
Yeah, but they're better.
You
ever think of that?
Constantly.
I could sort of get
constantly.
Wait, what?
He goes constantly. I think about that.
But yeah, no. So I wanted to pick it because it's a fantastic game. So, and also I wanted a break. So anyway, Last of Us remastered. Last of Us, one of the greatest games ever. I wanted a break.
Once again, yeah. If you're new, we go about it our own separate ways. Sometimes we will pick games that we have not played that we really want to play on our backlog. That is going to be me with Nier Automata. That's the first time that I've picked a game that I have not played.
I think that's the first one that all three of us have not actually gotten around to fully playing.
That'll be a full blind, our first blind, completely blind.
I got 10 hours into it, to be fair. And then it was just one of those things like, yo, I got to play Legend of Zelda. So it was like 2 weeks after Legend of Zelda came out. I'm like, I got to go back, bro.
Yeah, it was me. Basically, I got it launch day. A buddy of mine was like, hey, you got that game? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I know you. You're not going to get around to it for a long time. Can I borrow that while you're playing other shit? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So he went through 100% of the game, gave it back to me, and I still haven't touched it since.
Yeah, so that'll be our first blind playthrough. But sometimes we pick games, too, that we've played before, but we want the others to play for the first time. That was me with Watch Dogs.
Me with Doki Doki.
With Doki Doki. I also did that with Inside, so we go about it separate ways. No specific rule.
This is the first time I picked a game, though, that
ever.
It's true. I mean, he started off with like, "Hey, let me throw a game out there," and all like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Yeah, Dead Space, God of War, What Remains of Edith Finch. These are all games I never finished or never played. So, but this one, yeah, and I still played this. I just didn't finish it. But the story I was surprised by, and not even just the story, but just even little bits of dialogue that I still remembered. Even if it's only been a couple years since I watched a playthrough. Right. And I always watch just random. I'm like, you know what? I want some in the background. I'll put on a playthrough for a game. You know, it's from somebody I like or whatever. Obviously, not just a random fucker.
Yeah. Anything else you have to say about that?
No.
So
That's it.
I'll jump into it since David's gonna be the more fresh perspective. I beat this game at launch. Fell in love with it. It was an incredible time. I actually bought a PS4 for this game specifically,
Right.
or PS3 I should say.
Right.
Named my cat after the character Tess in that game. You only meet her for about like an hour or two, but awesome character. It's essentially the catalyst to that series. If you think about it from the get go, is Joel didn't give a fuck. Joel's like, I don't want to fucking deal with this. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Also, spoilers, by the way. This is filled with spoilers.
Yeah, it was spoiler.
Yeah, so Joel like didn't care, but it was Tess that kind of pushed it through. It's like kind of like the base of that came from Tess. It was a game that I did not touch after that. I loved it so much, I just did not want to touch it anymore. It was one of those, all right, hands off. I'm never gonna want to watch another moment of that. I don't want to replay it, at least for now. Like I was open to it, but not for a while. I didn't want to touch it again. Granted, we played the multiplayer. Me and Gore played a lot of multiplayer.
Yeah.
David has not. We will eventually get him to play it, so maybe we'll talk about that on Blue Rupees eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably next week.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it when we play it.
But multiplayer is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, that is easily still the best PS4 exclusive multiplayer game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
But yeah, so this was my first time going back to that universe completely, and yeah, it was all fresh to me. It was kind of nice. It was, when you kind of like say to yourself, I kind of wish I could relive that game again. That's kind of how it felt. Like everything, aside from the very, very pivotal moments, was fresh to me. Like I knew the Tess death, I knew the Henry and Sam moment,
yeah.
and I knew the
Alien.
the fireflies at the hospital when you just walk in there and you can kill them or you don't have to. And then the very
you don't have to?
No, they're terrified of you. They're like, please God, don't shoot.
Oh, you're talking about the doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
you have to kill
them.
the fireflies. the doctors, you don't need to.
Yeah, I didn't realize you didn't have to kill the doctors.
Yeah, the doctors that are fucking like this and saying, "Please God, don't shoot
well,
me."
the one picks up a knife though. To be fair, if you get close to him, don't you just knock him out or something like that?
Does he?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I need to look at
that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, you
just played it again.
No,
so.
I always shot that motherfucker. I was like, no, get the fuck out of here.
You might have to shoot him, but I don't know if you get close to him. I thought maybe you just knock him out or something, or you might kill him when
Pull out
you
your
get close.
fucking flamethrower.
Pulls out a
Excuse
knife.
me.
Yeah, no, I just assumed
Everybody
let's
does
kill
that,
him. Plus,
but-
I was in the mindset of, no, this is blood rage time. We're fucking doing this.
So,
Yeah.
and we'll make a note of that because I kind of want to talk about it. We're going to get into that for sure.
Yeah.
I like already how this is going to be 100 billion times more thorough than last episode with Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. It's like half an hour, but it's like, yeah, it was a game. Yeah, so no, this was experiencing this game pretty much, aside from those moments, like all for the first time. It was great hearing all that dialogue again. It was awesome hearing those little moments, and then me and David end up also playing through Left Behind, which we will talk about at the end.
I remember Left Behind enough.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that at the end.
Pretty simple.
But without going on too long before I let David talk, yeah, it was one of my top 5 games, and as we'll talk about next week, which we're going to go through and reevaluate our top 5, that is still going to be in my top 5, and I will take time to reevaluate it, but for now it is firmly still standing in that position for me to put up for grabs. David.
So my experience with Left 4 Dead before this was a buddy of mine let me.
Left 4 Dead. You said Left 4 Dead?
No, Jesus Christ, Last of Us.
I do want
I've
to
been doing that the
emotional
whole
stories in
time.
gaming. Left 4 Dead.
I do want to point out to once again, David started up with a pick from Gore saying, "Oh, I don't want to fucking play that game."
It's like I know what a good game is.
Kinda.
Unlike somebody I know. Where's David?
Yeah, no, you had it right. Like, point to your Red Dead poster. Well, actually, no. Where would you
Fuck
be?
you.
No,
Well, just for this
down.
moment, switch me so he's over here. Fuck you.
Just actually Photoshop my face onto
onto Arthur Morgan.
there.
Yeah,
Hey, you're gonna be playing as him soon, so
yeah.
I
You'll be
already
playing.
plan on picking up a copy as soon as I see it for cheap enough.
on
He'll
Game
be
Pass.
like, well,
It's
is it on Game Pass soon?
Yeah,
Oh, it's on Game Pass? Oh, that's right.
Not now, but it will be.
But you only have a few months to play that because they took off GTA in like 4 months.
Oh, well, fuck. I don't care. As long as it's in that time, I'm going to be doing
Oh,
it.
fuck!
If not, then I'll buy it anyways. Whatever.
Right.
Actually, I'll probably buy it because I'll want to play it on PC. I don't know.
No, play on Stadia.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the Stadia thing that
Who
happened.
cares? All right, continue.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my experience with this game was I ended up with the PS3 version way back when because I have a buddy that makes the same mistake constantly of letting me borrow stuff because I'm really bad about remembering to give stuff back. Not that I just forget, but I have like 7 movies and 12 games I got from him because he let me borrow them and never asked for them back, so I just never gave them back. So that's how I ended up with Last of Us.
Give them back to him like a normal human being?
Never asked for it, and I forget I have it.
You just named how many you have.
Yeah. I have about 10. I can name them all right now.
Look, so I was thinking about it.
Hey,
but
I hope he has your Shin Megami Tensei games.
Oh, yeah. You ever think of that?
No, he hates RPGs. Except for...
I wonder why.
Hey, so it is gore.
Yeah. Oh, it's like most of humankind. Wow.
Like the only RPGs I could ever get him into were like the Baldur's Gate ones. We played a lot of co-op with that.
Wow. You know why? Because those are fun.
They are fun.
All right.
But
keep it up to David.
We can agree with that.
For it.
Yeah. You're the one who interrupted David.
Shut up, Gore.
Fuck you. All right, go ahead, David.
Thank you, Gore, for having my back to make sure I can talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I got the game off of him, and I played the first couple hours. And I was like, yeah, this is a good game. And then I just stopped playing it. It was just I had other things I wanted to play at the time, and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. And my experience going back to it and actually finishing it is, I'm going to be honest, the story, fucking phenomenal. Absolutely gorgeous fucking storytelling. The gameplay, not that great. I didn't really care for the gameplay in this game. It runs into this kind of slog that I have with a lot of these kind of third-person action-y games of they all feel really samey, and it just doesn't... It doesn't have any... There's no middle ground in the gameplay. You are either, all right, I'm going to stealth and I'm going to hope for the best, or crap, I fucked up. Well, I guess I'm just fucking going gung-ho here. And there's never feels like that perfect middle ground where you can actively choose to be like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive with these guys. I'm going to go ahead and be more stealthy with these guys. It never feels like it's a decision. It's just always, oh, I'm stealthing until I fuck up, or I don't care about resources. I'm just going full hog the whole time.
So,
go
ahead.
I was going to say, the only time that I felt like it was balanced really well was actually in Left Behind. I feel like Left Behind actually balanced that kind of gameplay very well and was the best gameplay experience of Last of Us.
Also, not to get to that part, had the best moments where you can actually finally pit the dead versus...
Yeah,
dude, I was getting Watch Dogs 2
you can't do that.
I was so happy.
yeah, you can't do that at all pretty much in regular Last
but
of Us.
Dude, when you get the first moment, you're just hanging above there, and you hear the clickers, you two will walk in, you're just like, fuck it, throw a brick in the middle, and oh no!
Because I feel like in Last of Us the entirety, you never fight both.
No.
infected,
it
or
was like
bandits.
very little.
It's either or.
It was always like a beginning where they kill the clicker and then they're after you.
Yeah.
So they need more of that in the next game for sure.
I
will say that
they will for sure.
It does show its age. It's a little antiquated. It does show its age when like you kill one guy and like the guy from like 2 football fields away is like, what? And it starts running over.
But meanwhile, you stealth kill, because that's the other thing too, is like you can sometimes the stealth feels very wonky in this game. You can sometimes stealth kill someone right next to another person and no issues. But like you said, someone could be like 4 miles away, you stealth kill a dude and just and they fucking charge at you.
Yeah, it's not great, especially with your companions. Your companions.
Yeah, the companions. They
it's good that they made them invisible to the other people, even though that completely breaks immersion when Ellie's running like in front of a dude, and he's just like, I don't care.
I'd rather break immersion than have the AI kill me, because that's just
sure. But the AI should just be better. Like I don't think this should be. So hey, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. All right. Last of Us is technically a better game. I get it. but Bioshock Infinite had a way better companion. She would help you. She wouldn't get in your fucking way. She would throw you ammo and shit. And that's a fantastical game, so it's a little different, obviously. But because it wouldn't make any sense if Ellie's just picking up fucking shotgun shells out of the dirt. But it's still, she doesn't do anything until a little bit later in the game when you actually give her a gun to help you. And she does help you later for sure. But
yeah,
like,
especially when she starts fucking hopping on the bitches and stabbing them in the neck.
Yeah.
It's like, hell yeah, that's my girl.
Even when you had Tess and Bill in the beginning, and even Sam and Henry, their fucking AI sucks so much. I remember even back in 2013, like that was the only real problem I had with the game. Even the gameplay. I actually loved the gameplay personally, but the only problem I had was the AI. Like I had one moment I still remember where Ellie, I'm stealthing, and there's like I think maybe like six zombies or whatever, not zombie, infected. Don't call them zombies, people get upset. And what happened? I wasn't fighting zombies. I was fighting, I think, humans, and they had like the trip mines or whatever. There's trip mines somewhere. I remember this because Ellie triggered one and it exploded, and then because she didn't die or anything, but everybody got alerted. That's all I remember. Everybody got alerted. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, Ellie. She didn't die.
I'd rather avoid all that for sure. If I had to pick between those two, obviously, like I'd pick the way that, all right, she's out of sight, out of mind. They should have went.
And to say it's a 2013 game, I don't think is because there was a lot of games in 2013 that were really, when it comes to AI, was really good. Sure. Like
I wish they went the Resident Evil 4 route where you could just put her away for a little bit and just kind of do your own thing.
Throw in the dumpster.
Get in the trash can.
Yeah.
In the dumpster.
No,
but Ellie's not useless like Ashley. So.
It is wonky for sure. Like there's those weird moments. And granted, I felt like I did a lot more stealth the first time I played this. This time I felt like I definitely felt the moments where it's like, damn, like why am I getting this guy triggered? Like I feel like I stealthed him, but apparently I didn't stealth him in the right angle because now he's alerted everyone. Even though like because it's not consistent, right? You make noise as you go down. Yet, like, you're knocking over pots and pans every once in a while, but nothing really happens. It's really weird.
The flashlight doesn't matter. You could shine a flashlight in someone's face while you're behind cover, and they'll be like, they don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah, as long as humans, I found reacted to it more than they should have.
I don't remember them ever reacting to it.
But yeah, no. But this time I felt like I definitely had to get a little more action, where I would like throw a brick, and then 4 clickers would walk over to it, then I throw a mine or something. Right. Just all blow up. I'm like, cool, I'm already done with it.
Those are great. Whenever you fight the infected, those are always great when you get the nail bomb. Just like throw a bottle at the nail bomb. They're like, what? And they all
yeah, dude, it's brutal with the humans
like
though. With the humans, and you look at their corpse and just blood, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, fucking, they're dead.
Speaking of weaponry, while we're on the subject, I don't know if I just had shitty luck with it. But man, the bow and arrow was fucking useless.
Oh, dude, no.
Very hard.
The bow and arrow is hard at the beginning, but later in the game, it's the best weapon.
Yeah, when you upgrade it.
When you upgrade it, because not only do you get the bow and arrows back with every headshot, but you get kills without anyone looking around.
Yeah, I upgraded it a bit. I didn't
really
get
hard to
it maxed out, but it was a good weapon. It's just, I swear, I was rarely getting my arrows, and I guess that makes sense if you can upgrade it.
When you shoot a clicker, I'm assuming you were like shooting clickers a lot.
I was doing fucking everything with it.
Okay, well, clickers like it. Yeah, their heads are like obviously way more.
Yeah, dude, the very last thing I had and left behind, I missed like 6 fucking arrows against the last 2 clickers on the bottom of the escalator. And I have like 1 bullet and like 2 arrows left. I'm like, well, shit. It's like, well, I forget what I ended up doing. I had to like do something, and I had like 2 arrows left. I'm like, all right, if these are the last 2, I gotta hit it, otherwise I'm fucked. I hit it, thank God. But no, like once you get like practice with it, it's so incredible. They're like, all right, you kill one that's like being an annoyance right here, and then you can just stealth the other one pretty easily, and you get the ammo back too, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, the arrow was great during a lot of segments, but at the same time, I just had the worst luck with getting my arrows back, and it was frustrating because I'm like, I want to play this. This is fun. I like the kind of really taking time, aim the shot, be a sneaky sniper, because like when I play like Elder Scrolls games, that's usually the kind of character I play, is I play the sneaky sniper, and then when that fails, I just punch things in the face. So it's like, yeah, no, this is that's kind of how I played this game, was I tried to be the sneaky sniper, and then just knife things whenever that wasn't, an option or whatnot.
It's good too, because if you miss, they all go to the arrow. They're like, huh, what? And they all walk over to it. It's like, oh,
exactly.
You can take another shot. Dude, there was one moment I felt like fucking Hanzo. when you sent Ellie behind the thing, and then the infected wakes up and starts to go after her, and she's like, Joel. Do you know that?
Oh yeah,
Dude,
yeah, over the fence you're talking about.
Yeah, it's in the tunnel. You're in the
It's
tunnel.
like at the end. It's at the end of the
very
game.
end, yeah.
You send her over the fence.
Yeah.
You could kill that clicker before you even fucking.
Oh, dude, no. I did. I as soon as she went, I did it. I fucking felt Hanzo like, oh, and then just immediately headshot. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could kill that clicker before you even send Ellie out over.
No, yeah, but he got up and like right there. I
know.
Got a head like, oh fuck yeah, dude, Hanzo time.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, yeah, no. The bow and arrow is terrible. Like at first, it's very hard.
Yeah, it's very the sway is just fucking incredibly obnoxious.
When you get that like pushed up, it's so fucking good, and it's so satisfying knocking someone far away too, and then you walk back after you
hear that explosion.
You walk back. You're like, cool, arrow, back to good.
Yeah, you just hear that satisfying like crunch explosion when you hit a clicker. Like, yeah, go fuck you. You try to bite me, bitch. I get you. You don't even know I'm here. But using the bombs.
Very hard gunplay at times though, for sure. Like it.
Oh, I love it. I really do because
it's not bad, but it's definitely hard.
It felt so realistic. I remember
like where Resident Evil should be. You know, like at times where it's like
sure.
It feels like we're like, oh, ammo is not only scarce, but it is fucking hard to hit motherfuckers. Where sometimes you just like shoot off 3 or 4 bullets and like only one hit, and it's like maybe on the shoulder, and you're like, God damn it.
Right.
But,
well, yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's really hard, especially later on when they always do this. Naughty Dog loves adding like, oh, now this guy has a helmet, or this guy has body armor. I'm like, even in Last of Us, like Uncharted makes sense. Like Uncharted's all, like adventurous, whatever. It makes sense. It's goofy. This game's like the most unrealistic thing. Obviously, is the fungus monsters, but even that is like there's things in the real world that are similar to that parasite that actually take over the host and stuff. So, but like just having like now there's a guy with like heavy duty armor that takes like 15 shotgun shells. I'm like, all right, come on, please.
Yeah, no, that was the thing. I think the multiplayer definitely helped us get better at the aim though, because multiplayer is fucking so good, dude. When you're having, it's a hard time to just kill people like that too. Granted, when the people are really good that you're fighting, it's like, oh, I'm fucked.
Right.
Also, before we get into more stuff, it tripped me out. I keep forgetting the DualShock 4 has a speaker in it.
Yes. Yeah, so the flashlight, that's so satisfying.
The flashlight and the audio
and the audio logs, yeah.
Yeah,
those are super cool. I'm like, oh yeah, this has a fucking speaker in it. So before we get into story stuff, I kind of want to get some funny moments. Did you guys have any funny or notable glitches? Because I definitely did.
I didn't have any funny glitches.
It wasn't like hilarious, but I had one guy while he was like looking for me, just not see me completely. Like I was like right in front of him. He couldn't see me for some reason. And then I started shooting him, and once I shot him, he did like a 360-degree turn, but it was like really quick. So it was like, floop. It's just like what the and that was the only thing that really happened.
I hit.
Everything else was just like, like simple things. Like one guy will say like, "Where the fuck are you, asshole? I'll fuck you," and then you just kill him immediately. Like just things like that. So it's not glitch. It's just...
2 specific glitches. One was, when you're like in the final stand with Henry when you got Sam and Ellie out the window.
Yeah.
So, like what was like 4, 5, or 6 of them start coming in on you. I killed 2. I get my bat that has the nails in it. I swing another and it just freaks out, and then nothing else. Everything's gone, and Henry just standing there like this. And I'm like, oh, and I just turn around and walk out the door, and then it just triggers a cutscene.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, all right. It was that, and then during the snow part when you're trying to get Ellie to escape.
Yep.
I look around and everyone's just stuck in gun like this. Like everyone, like no one's moving around or investigating me. So I went back and stealth killed everyone except for the one guy that didn't work on, and he killed me. And then I was stuck on that part for a while after that. I was like, motherfucker, I had a free run right through that, and then fucking one guy fucked up, so I had to like do some fucking sneaky shit to get around all of them after that.
For me, I ran into 2 things. One was the only real like big glitches I ran into is there would be times where The scenery wasn't, I don't know if it was just fully loaded or it was clipping wrong. But like there'd be times I'd be walking through buildings and you would see the outside through like corners of the walls sometimes. Like when you're going through the university, there'd be times I'd be going through like a stairwell in there, and in like one of the kind of far off corners of the stairwell, I'd look and I'd actually see the outside of it through there.
No, that's an aesthetic choice.
Yeah, it's an aesthetic choice. And I don't know if this is a glitch or if the game just checkpoints weirdly, but there'd be times I would go through a segment and I'd start to use up some of my resources, die, but then it would reset my checkpoint within that checkpoint, and then suddenly I'm spawning in with half the health and like less of my ammo. It's like, all right, well now I got to do this all over again with less of what I started with. All right, I guess we're doing this.
That was that's part of the weird checkpoint system, because in Left Behind.
Yeah, the weird checkpoint system.
Because actually that part that we're talking about where you just throw the thing out and the clickers attack the people.
Yeah.
I had my bow and arrow, and I missed like 7 shots. And I'm like, well, that's some bullshit. And then I killed him, or whatever. I'll reset the checkpoint. I reset the checkpoint. I was down there in a spot that I had not walked at.
I was just about to say that.
And I had 1 arrow left. And it checkpointed me as if I just like had finished it, but like it didn't. It was like not. It doesn't check. It checkpoints you in specific areas, and all it does is mark down your inventory, health and inventory. But it doesn't. It's like, all right, you're done with this. All right, we're gonna put you right there then, even though you never went there and you don't want to do that at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna say I there's times where the checkpoint system just takes the fucking longest time to actually checkpoint. It's not a glitch or anything. It's just like you can tell when it checkpoints because if you press pause, it'll say when the last save happened,
like a minute ago or something like that.
And there was one where I was playing and it said like 17 minutes ago. I was like, I was the time I was playing it now. I was playing on easy. So, like, I wasn't trapped on any part. Everything was really easy in the game, as the difficulty
So,
would
if you
suggest.
happen to die for some reason, you would have got set way back.
I would have set back 17 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's no way. I wasn't stuck on a part for 17 minutes. I was progressing. So, I assume that's a glitch, or there was just no autosave. I don't know. It was like 17 minutes, which is ridiculous. It never happened again. I only played until the Sam and Henry part ended.
So let's go into that now. Let's go into moments.
Story?
Yeah, let's go into story. And
sure.
Do you guys want to like point out specific moments you guys want to talk about, or can I go beat?
Maybe we should just go like major plot point by major plot point and kind of discuss it that way.
Yeah, because it's not when it comes to the story. It's very simple. It's a journey from point A to point B, and in between point A and point B, there's a lot of zigzags. Let's just say, and
shit always goes wrong. It doesn't matter. You think, all right,
B keeps getting pushed
out of this.
Yeah, B keeps getting pushed further and further away. It's just like, all right, here's B. Ah, shit.
It's like God of War. Like honestly, that was the other thing too. Just quick
God of War
tangent.
kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like God of War, actually.
I couldn't help but find a lot of parallels to this game and God of War. Grizzled.
I would like. So before you even say that, that's kind of the ongoing theme, which is a little irky to me, because that's just kind of like the most. That's one of the safest things you can do in stories, and it's always a winner. It's always watch over a younger person in a really
as a father figure area. Or a father,
So shoutouts to like.
To be fair, God of War came out way after Last of Us.
But like shoutouts to like Last of Us, The Walking Dead.
They came out before
God of War.
I guess BioShock, but not really.
Not kind of, sort of, because it is.
Yeah, but you don't really need to look out for her. Also, she's like 20, so
yeah. But I'm sure I'm missing one. I know for sure, at least on
Resident Evil 4. You're watching out for someone's daughter.
But it's always like you're watching out over someone else, like a young man, which is always like it's always a home run in a lot of people's stories. It's very safe.
I'm sure there's other ones. I'm sure if I look at my game collection, I could find 15 more. But yeah, it works most of the time. It definitely does. I'm sure there's some times where it does not work.
So I will say in this game,
Troll and that didn't work.
Because I will say with this game, just drawing the parallel to like Last of Us and God of War, that was one thing that definitely, like playing God of War, Atreus, despite how the story kind of treats him, always felt like he was able to handle himself. There was never a point where I'm like, shit, I gotta watch out for boy. I must protect boy. It was like, No, boy's got it. He's fine. Whatever. Whereas in this game, even though there was very few times where the AI could really get fucked up and be in a situation where you can't save them, anytime I saw someone going after Ellie, it was always, nope, gotta protect her. Must protect, save that girl.
Because she could still die, like if the clicker or whatever grabs them and you see the little reticle.
I love
but like God of War, he can never die.
I forgot how like relatable she is, not necessarily relatable, how endearing she is, you know, because like she'll do her little like kitty, like she'll like start
or she's trying to whistle at one point.
Yeah,
it's like
she'll tell puns, but
every
time you fucking kill people, she's like, holy shit, Joel,
holy shit. And then like later on in the game, she's breaking people's fingers and telling them to go fuck themselves.
And we're jumping to the middle. We're gonna start in the beginning, I promise, right after this. I will say like one of the most like gut punching moments is when Joel's like, I can't protect you, and he's like trying to be tough about it. He's like, I can't protect you. Tommy is so much better than me. I can't protect my own daughter. You're not my daughter. But this is like right after she was like, everyone fucking left me except for you, and we've gone through like we've walked across the fucking country right now, and you're leaving me with someone else, and you're just going back home.
Yeah,
and that was like really like Jesus, like it's hard because there's so much stuff. But let's go to the beginning.
The moment that always gets me is one later, but we'll get to it.
Well, mark it down, and we're gonna do favorite moments.
We'll talk. I'll remember it. It's a major part.
Oh, girl, was it? I forgot.
Yeah. Oh no.
So the beginning.
The part where Ellie got shot in the head. I forgot to mention that.
The beginning.
This is a legendary scene. So this is like how quickly a game can make you like a character is really impressive.
I know this definitely hits people too more, like, especially I remember even
especially actual fathers.
Yeah, and I was like, it's literally back in the day, I remember like reading like people like actual dads were like, dude, fuck man, like I cried at that very first scene. I couldn't even do it because that's fucked. I forgot how she died. Actually, I remember she died. I forgot how. I thought it was like an infected bit or something. It was like she got straight up shot by a military guy who said to kill you guys. Like she didn't even get like a proper like.
No.
It wasn't that like, the unfortunate circumstance, you know, what could you do? It was literally just, no, this dude had a choice, and he's like, yep, gotta follow orders, must murder small child.
I'm just like, seeing it, like, just thinking in my head how correct that death scene was. Not correct, like, in a good way, but like how perfect it was.
Dude,
executed.
For like 20
and then
minutes.
I think about another series that's a zombie thing that treats one of its children characters' death like it's like a 40-minute eulogy, pretty much. You know, it's where I'm just like comparing both of them. Like, this is exactly how. I mean, we didn't know this character for too long, but it's
20 minutes,
perfect way.
Like 20 minutes of a game.
20 minutes we knew this character,
and
we moved around her. Like we played as her for a little bit, and then like that was it. Like, but we get that one scene where her and Joel. And just like talking, like she gives the watch to him, and he's like, "It's broken," you know. But just 20 minutes, and
because you immediately just hear the fear. Like even him and Tommy, just like, and even Tommy, you know how close he is. He's like, "Get her out of here." How's Ellie or not Ellie? What's her name?
Sarah.
How's Sarah? Is she okay and all that? And it says a lot too when Ellie saves that picture for you. You know, she's like,
she gives it back to you.
I know you didn't want this picture.
He chokes up.
Yeah, that there's so many good moments, but so the beginning happens, and
she gets shot. I think Joel also gets shot. I don't know if
missed him.
It didn't miss him because it didn't look like it should have missed him. But
am I agree?
I thought the whole situation didn't give a fuck that he got shot at that moment.
It might agree shoulder, but I don't think so.
But
we get that whole thing, and then it's 20 years later, and Joel's grizzly. He's got gray hair, and he's with this girl named Tess.
He's like late 40s, early 50s, maybe.
Right, and they're in Boston.
Never confirmed. Exactly.
They were in Boston. They were from Texas, but they're in Boston now.
Yeah, they're in Boston.
Then you go on a small mission to get your guns back. Which leads.
What's his name again? I forgot that guy's name. They have to chase down some guy.
Robert.
Yeah, and that whole scene is awesome. That right there solidifies how badass Tess is.
I was exactly what I was about to say.
And Chris and I touched on this when we were talking together, and I forgot about it. Is Tess always double taps?
Yeah, he
Best
does.
thing
She
about her.
double tests a lot. Like later on, when you're fighting like a clicker's fighting, she's just like bang bang. Like she don't give a fuck about wasting ammo. I mean, I guess she's an AI. She has infinite, so it doesn't matter.
But
But
that's the one thing you always do. I hate when people don't do it in any zombie. Zombieland had it right, and no one else followed through. Double tap, motherfuckers.
Yeah, even if you're wasting ammo, if you shoot them once, hey, they could still be alive, bro.
Yep.
You don't know.
But yeah, so then you got to Robert, and then you go through a whole ordeal where you meet Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies.
Which is funny how quick it is, because you kill Robert and she's like, "Yo, where's Robert?" I'm like, "You didn't just hear the gunshot?"
that was one of the very first like instances of like convenient storytelling that is like, oh, you could have like made that a little more elegant, or maybe she was hiding.
There's a lot of convenient stuff. Like there's one scene at the end that I'm just like, "Wow, you're here. Why are you?"
Yeah.
Like,
Well, a lot of moments revolve around her specifically.
Yeah, around her, yeah. Which is funny because she's in the game for about 20 minutes. So
yeah.
Screen time. So,
but and that's usually my pet peeve with the storytelling is if it's convenient. Maybe even make up some bullshit excuse, like maybe like she was hiding around with Robert or something like that. Not like, hey, where's she at? But
and it really would be a problem if it was like an Uncharted game. Like it's like, ooh, it's fun. Yeah, like it taking itself so seriously and being realistic, it really shows like the convenience in some things.
Right.
You know, like.
But yeah, so then we do that. We move over to when we find Ellie.
And she's already sassy.
She's very sad. She's like, "What the fuck? Who are these people? Fuck that! I'm not doing that." And then
Joel and Ellie
specifically go off together, right?
Yeah, and Tess.
Yeah.
No, but they split off for a second.
At this point, yeah. They go off so he can go to his to apartment and wait, so they can like.
Yeah, so that's when you start bonding immediately.
Yeah, immediately. It's
that's
just like I'm going to sleep. You do whatever.
Yeah.
Like.
You can tell he doesn't give a fuck. He's in that life of the apocalypse where he's like, me, myself, and I don't know why I'm doing this. Fuck it.
But he's not overly grumpy too. He's like realistic. Like he's not gonna just like.
He's not being an asshole.
I don't compare Kratos, but
he's not
Kratos.
He's not cartoon. Yeah, like Kratos, where he's like, fuck.
Kratos is like talking to his own biological son.
Yeah, but
he's like, boy.
Yeah, Joel's like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I have no part in this. I don't want to be. Joel is a smart survivor. You know, he's like, I mind my own business. I don't want to do anything else. Like that's it. Yeah. And that's smart. I think that's realistic. I think
that's how you should do it if something like this would happen. I mean, I'd die instantly. I'd be snuffed out immediately.
No, you could take 12 bullets.
I'd fuck up, trip on my own gun, and pull my own.
Yeah, but you got 12 bullets you could take.
Yeah, that's true because I'm fat. As many games will let you know, if you're fat, you can take more damage.
See, between this whole call, we could take like 25 bullets, 12 each on them, and then one on me.
Get out of here! You got a little chub on you.
Give yourself some credit, Anthony.
I could take 3.
Yeah, you ain't. Who's a skinny guy? I don't know any skinny people. I don't try to hang out with those people.
I get hungry.
Wait,
so then after that you Tess and Ellie go off together. Then soon after that you guys get jumped on, and that's when you find out that Ellie is actually immune.
Yeah,
they call bullshit on her, but she's like,
she does some badass shit there because you're about to get caught. I mean, you got caught, and you're about to. I think they were about to execute you too.
Yeah, they were scanning them, and then they were about to scan Ellie, and she's like, "Nope."
Yeah, but I think didn't someone. Like it was very similar to the beginning. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong. But then did somebody get like a message like that sounded like someone was telling them just to kill him? Just no, okay.
Yeah, no, they were checking.
Anyway, so Ellie fucked them up.
They were gonna arrest them, or no? I think they were gonna. No, they murder outside the curfew hours.
Yeah,
but they still checked them. I think. Okay, either check or arrest, whatever. But
either way, she stabbed the motherfucker in the knee, and then they all kill those two.
And it says, "I'm immune," and they're like, "Bullshit." And then Tess is like, "Bro, like this, she should be fucking."
Yeah. It said infected. They look at the thing. It says infected.
This is a week old, and it's like, oh shit!
We'll see in the DLC.
Yeah.
She said.
But yeah, so then that goes through. Eventually, go through a whole thing, get to the building, and then that's when they. Well, eventually you see Tess get attacked again. Later on, you find out she's pushing hard.
There's a lot in between there, but it's just a lot of like them going to the sewers and stuff like that. They go in the sewer at that point, right?
It's a lot of
character building. They go in the sewers a lot in this game, but or something sewer-esque. But anyway, they travel around and then they get to where they have to go. That's where Tess gets bitten. They get to the Firefly base, but there's no Fireflies there. They're all dead. No, you can keep going. You tell it better.
So you and throughout the thing, you're hearing Tess be very gung ho about like we have to get her there, we have to get her there, and even Joel's kind of pointing out like this is not you, like you're like me. We don't give a fuck. Like why do you give a fuck all of a sudden? She's very coy about it until you get to the Capitol building and then realize you're about to get hunted down right now, and she's like, hey, I'm bitten, and then I think that's a very poignant scene.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you don't know Tess that well, you don't know Joel that well, but you get there's a bond there. There's a really strong bond of survivors. You know, of
if you read a lot of the notes too, you get a little bit of sense of like how they are together. Like
even everyone you meet, it's like, hey man, how's Tess?
Yeah,
and they know you guys are always together.
Yeah,
because that was the other thing too. Is up to that point, there would be times where Tess would make a comment. I think some of it was optional dialogue. Maybe once all this is over, we'll kind of have a conversation, kind of settling down a little bit and all this nonsense. And Joel's just like, the fuck? You every time I'm like, yeah, let's do that. You're like, no, not now. Well, what's changing your mind? She's like, don't worry about it. And it's that extra. It's that kind of whenever someone says, "Oh, I'm like 3 days out from retirement," it's like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah. And they have a line later on in the game that's very similar, where Joel's talking about like, "Hey Ellie, I'm gonna teach you how to like play guitar or whatever. It's gonna be awesome." I mean, I guess he could technically, but it's still like there's that whole ultimatum at the end. Like,
he did, and we saw the trailer.
Yeah, it's true.
She learned how to play guitar.
Jamming out. So.
But you also get that when you notice the box arts only have Joel and Ellie.
yeah, and Joel's all the way in the distance.
Yeah,
I always find that funny.
No, so you get that, and then you get that bond of survivors where people like keep each other at arm's length, but very much clearly like each other. It's just that like they don't want to lose each other, so they keep away as if that's gonna do anything. Obviously, like you can see Joel like still, he.
Joel is a extremely complicated character.
He's very
and
complicated.
I love Joel. Might be one of the best video game characters ever.
One of the best written characters, in general.
He's so good. Troy Baker, obviously, I don't even need to say. Troy Baker does great with fucking anything. But it's probably his best performance, most likely. I can't think of anything.
I agree.
I don't know how good he'll be in Last of Us 2, but we'll see. But he's so good in this. But his character has so many like turns, but not like surprising turns, just like things that he does that it's just like, whoa, holy fuck. They even like suggest like that's why his brother doesn't really like talking to him, because he's done some fucking grotesque shit in the past just to survive.
Well, you do. We get a taste of that when,
you do grotesque shit in this game. Well, I was gonna say later on when you like after Ellie whatever and you like kidnap those two people and he just like straight kills both
that was me, bro. I'm like, bro, you're about to tell me who it is. I don't give a fuck, but
don't worry. I love it. He's like, don't worry, I believed him, and he just fucking killed that guy too.
I love when people do this, because these are video games, you know. At the end of the day, it's like when you look at Uncharted, it's like, bro, this guy's a one-man army. He literally just killed like hundreds and thousands of people.
Yeah.
But and that's what they tell you. That's when you first meet David. He's like, yeah, and you know,
like
we're awesome, by the way.
Hey, Drake.
Side note, they're in a feud right now.
Like Nolan North.
They're in a feud right now.
Yeah, they do a video game show now, and they actually did a full playthrough.
No, they're not anymore.
Oh, they're not.
They had like a little friend breakup, which sucks.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I guess that they had a creative differences with how their YouTube went. There was like a falling out, but Troy Baker's like, we're gonna refriend each other eventually. But
okay, well
that sucks. But
anyway, they did a full playthrough for Last of Us. They already finished it.
Apparently, Troy sucks ass at that game, which kind of funny.
Well, yeah, I don't think they're like professional gamer. Nolan North ain't no gamer at all. You can tell him, watch him play Uncharted 1. It's just like when you meet David and then you get revealed that he's actually after you, it's just like we're just following after just all these people keep getting killed by this old man and this girl. Mm-hmm. And you get that in Pittsburgh too. You hear like they walk into a building and you're just like, it must have been an army, man. How did everyone get killed? Like you're acknowledged as this fucking murder machine, you know? Yeah, exactly.
And it's I like when people acknowledge that, because you're in a video game. It's like you're just killing left and right. It's like you should be acknowledged as like a monster in a way too, you know?
Yeah,
Exactly, because there are a lot of games where there is that weird disconnect between the gameplay and the story, where it's like, all right, the gameplay has you just herring through all these enemies, and then the story is like, all right, this one dude came up to you and just fucking cold clocked you and knocked you the fuck out. Well, I guess that happened. All right, you went down like a bitch, but okay.
This game has a lot of that. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a phenomenal game, and you'll see eventually, David.
And Red Dead
But
1, which you'll see,
and when I
David.
say eventually, I mean a couple months. But this game has that. Like you can massacre an entire 30-man gang as just one guy with this right here. It's whatever. I mean, hey, Red Dead Redemption 2 is great, but
yeah, so it was actually really nice to see that it's like, oh, I actually did that. It wasn't just like the gameplay giving me something to kind of try to have fun with. It was no. You are literally just fucking genocide incarnate.
They Naughty Dog is always peculiar about not calling The Last of Us fun.
yeah, which is
I would say that's accurate.
he says he doesn't like calling his games fun. Period. Neil
Yeah,
Druckmann.
which
means I guess the Lost Legacy isn't fun because I'm pretty sure he directed that.
which I get.
No, actually, no, he did. He directed Uncharted 4.
Because I get what he's trying to say. Granted, like I enjoyed the gameplay.
They are
like
fun.
I said, it's very tactical and very
It's really fun when you throw a pipe bomb and then throw a bottle and you see 8 fucking infected explode.
But dude, it's very exhausting, especially when you walk into a building and you use your hearing and you just see like fucking 8 bodies above you. You're like,
But you can say that about a lot of games. To be
yeah.
fair.
But anyway, let's move on.
See
with
like
the story.
8 soldiers in Call of Duty. You're like, fuck. All right.
So moving on with the story, we leave and we meet Bill.
Bill's great.
Yes, which I love that whole build.
Bill is an actor from Deadwood, I think.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, yeah. It's Keanu Reeves. Yeah. But no, I'm pretty sure it's an actor from Deadwood, which I definitely need to watch. But I looked him
Also
up.
a very complicated character, which I like too. All these characters are very well written, I think.
Yeah. Very well acted, very well written. Yeah.
Right.
He's an awesome character though. Like the first time you see him, of course, he saves your ass. You're actually looking for him because at this point you don't know
going
what to
through
do.
all his booby traps he has set up throughout the town.
All the booby traps, but you don't know what to do. So you're like, he's just like, well, I got a friend that I think is nearby. Let's see if he can help us. And
I even love that very uncomfortable moment where Ellie's like, so you've never gone out to visit him. Are you certain he'll even help? And Joel's just like, we're going to find out.
We'll find out. Got nothing else. Have nothing else. We need something. And this
man,
guy.
The gut punch with him.
Yeah. When you find out it's his partner.
Yeah. And I like that moment
and that
too.
note too.
Yeah, the note where the partner's just like, fuck you, Bill. I'm like,
yeah, I took your fucking battery, and I was better off being dead than in a world with you, basically.
Yeah, and it's hard, but and then I like the moment where he still has to keep that gruffness to him, where he tells you to get the fuck out of his town.
Yeah,
it's such a good moment.
Yeah, it is a great moment. But the whole section with him is like, that's where you find the bloaters too. That's like the new anime. I dropped my coin.
Jesus.
What? Shut up. Anyway.
but yeah, no, that was such a great segment. It gave us someone clearly from Joel's past that we could kind of get more insight from Joel from as well, because also that uncomfortable, especially the parallel where you have to imagine a lot of what Joel is processing. It's like, oh yeah, my partner's gone, I don't know what happened, he just up and left, and the whole time she's like, why the fuck isn't Tess here, what's going on? And Joel's just saying like, no, she's not.
I was always
coming.
waiting for him to like just drop. And that's the thing. That's the thing with a very predictable character is you always expect him to like, Tess is dead, Bill, or something like that.
Yeah, she's dead.
But he held on to it. He's like,
yeah,
nah, he doesn't need to know. And
ain't his business.
And he doesn't really want to talk about it either.
And Bill didn't really pry that much. Like he then kept asking.
No, he didn't.
Tess but he was like, I don't know why the fuck Tess would want to do this job. This sucks. I was like, yeah, it was actually her idea. Like, what? Yeah, that broad's stupider than I thought, I think he says at one point.
Yeah.
Which is a
great moment.
And every time he says like that, you're like,
yeah. But yeah, so then we get out of there, and then we go to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Which is a fucked up place with some fucked up hunters, which have some very fucked up scenes. You see that one where they're out in the streets, they kill those 2 people, they hunt them.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't have anything, fuck it, I guess.
They don't have anything and just leave them. Yeah.
Which
Like,
I will say,
murder
it
for
was
nothing.
during that scene I was expecting the game to take a different turn, just because they hunt down a couple, and the girl's the first one. She's left alive initially, and they start going to her. I'm like, is this where they're going? And little do I realize, no, they go there later. But
they go to an even darker place later.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
you think we're done? Hold on.
Oh, you think you seen Game of Thrones?
Initially,
It
I
gets even
actually
weirder,
kind of
bro.
was like relieved. I was like, oh, okay, we're not quite going to that place yet. All right, cool. We're golden. Little did I realize. But again, it's just one of those things.
Walks up.
Yeah, and then that whole
David walks up.
Yeah, David. Not gonna say anything.
But no. And then that whole segment actually was frustrating with the APC that had the gun mounted to it.
Sure.
Just because trying to stealth around that thing was a bitch and a half throughout some of that.
Yeah, you had to time it.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. The fucking car that would chase you down. That was only annoying because there's a lot of scripted moments where if you're stealthing, it doesn't matter. It'll see you. Like it'll just start shooting at you. And I was just like, all right. I mean, I played it on easy, so I don't remember how hard it was when I first played it. So,
but I will say that
I'm pretty sure it was hard though, because I played it on normal the first time I played it, and I think I played it on easy every other time because I don't have time for this shit.
But I will say this: that segment was also one of the kind of like examples of why I also just love listening to the side dialogue in this game, because there's so many like little great moments.
Yeah,
where
that's why I was fucking pissed you were listening to us fucking watch Hell's Kitchen and not fucking listen to goddamn dialogue.
I was reading it.
I was reading.
But
fuck acting.
Well, most of it was not Joel and Ellie evolves. Well, no, because I think got to the point where she was reading the puns. Yeah, that's right. Got to the point where she.
Yeah, you said that in the chat. You're like, she's reading puns while you guys watch Hell's Kitchen. This is wacky. Yeah. That's the best stuff. All those puns are great.
Those puns are phenomenal.
Which comes back in Left Behind.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But yeah, just listening to those conversations, there were so many times where I didn't want to continue on. I would just kind of wait to see if there was any other additional dialogue. And this was one of those moments where it's like, oh man, I got some fucking canned bacon. What? You got canned bacon? Where the fuck did you get that? And it's just this small little dialogue, just kind of
that's like
weirdly shows the humanity in these people. And it's like, if we weren't in this fucked up hellscape world, this would just be a normal shooting the shit conversation with the buddy of yours. Like, I don't know, I just fucking got drunk one night and ordered 50 can fucking bacons off of Amazon. Is it any good? Motherfucker, it's bacon. Of course it's good.
I love the moments where Ellie reads stuff from the past and she's like, damn, they really only gave a fuck about what they wore at prom or like who liked them. Yeah. That's what they worried about back then. You're shitting me. Or the ice cream truck.
Oh yeah. I was thinking like the airplane one too, like which she has like that dream about like I was on an airplane and it fucking crashed. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I've never been on an airplane before. I dream about when you crash.
I like the ice cream truck one because it was like,
hey,
what is that?
Sam's
like, yeah, or that's what he told me. And then he's like, Joel, no way. He's like, yep.
They play creepy ass music.
Yeah, and she's like, no fucking way.
No fucking way. You're fucking
I loved that one, and I loved when you would go up to like the fashion mall that's in that area, and I was just like, "What? Why? I thought you said that like food was abundant in your time. Why do these women all look so skinny?" It's just like, they just some women just chose not. Well, he didn't specify women. He's like, just some people chose not to eat. And she's like, why? He's like, aesthetic reasons. She's like, that's fucking stupid.
That would be fat as hell.
I love how just she just drops F-bombs left and right because she's a kid. She's 14.
And I love that no adult tells her to not to. Because I feel like there would be one in a lesser game made by a lesser studio with the same exact story. There would be like one character that's just like stop, like as a comedy thing, like language, like some Captain America shit. Or whatever.
It's almost like in the real world, Gore being like so fucking crazy and bloody and dismembered. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, stop. No cursing, please.
You would say that swearing isn't that big of a deal when you have limbs flying off people and stuff, but hey, maybe Last of Us has it down. I get that, and I like that it's like
Walking
different
Dead
too, because like Henry to Sam was like very stern on Sam, like, hey, put that away, we don't eat that, but Joel's like, no, she's a girl, and even though she's still young, I'm not gonna have to tell her to stop saying fuck when we're killing people.
Yeah,
which is great.
But yeah. So anyway, where were we in the start? We go to Philadelphia.
So we're at Henry and Sam actually.
Yeah.
So we meet them, and that's a great introduction, by the way.
It's a confrontational one where Joel's beating his ass.
Yeah, there was gonna be death in like 3 seconds if the kids showed up.
Yeah, Sam did fuck it.
Man, I really thought you were gonna kill me. Well, I was trying to.
That's why I felt like it hurt. He ain't even hurt. That's one of my favorite lines.
But yeah, the introduction of those two, again, it was another moment where it was great to see a dynamic difference. Like you were mentioning, Henry's very strict with his brother, and again, Joel's just very hands-off. He's still kind of in this thing where he's kind of really growing to Ellie, but there's still that kind of detachment he's trying to do to keep himself protected. And then they're like, all right, we got to escape. It's got to be tonight. We got to go across that bridge. This is our one chance at it. And then we get one of our top 10 anime betrayals during that.
When Henry dips, he's like deuces and he fucking pieces out.
Is also one of my favorite Ellie moments in this game.
Yeah,
where Henry and Sam are up there and she's up there and Joel's like, all right, you all guys just... all right, fuck it. I'll figure something out. Ellie, you go with them. It's safer. And then she just jumps down. She's like, nope, we're in this together. It's like, that's my girl. That's
top 10 bro moments.
Yeah.
I felt like, you know what? Father-daughter relationship, whatever. But that felt like a bro moment right there. It's like, yo, I got you, fam.
Ride or die.
Ride or die. Yeah, I felt like some Vin Diesel shit. Hell yeah. It's like family sticks together. Hey, fam. Dude, Ellie's going to be in the next Fast and Furious movie that I won't be seeing because AMC and Regal won't show it. That sucks.
I had to work that in here somehow.
It'll be out. That'll be an anime con by this time next week, I bet.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, Regal will be like, wait, hold on. They own Fast and Furious.
They're like, all right, we can miss Doolittle. That's fine. What else do they have?
James Bond. That's gonna. Oh, that sucks. They own Fast and Furious. It's like. They pull the fucking the retract statement.
I like that part too, where you actually see the obvious Twilight reference on the billboard.
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant earlier when he's saying.
No, that was something else I was referring.
Yeah, no. That was Joel's just like, I don't know, I'll watch stupid shit.
He was like, yeah, some teeny bopper like thing like that, and she's like, oh, who dragged you here? He's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, his wife, I'm assuming.
No, I think it was his girl.
His daughter. His daughter, yeah. Because it was new at the time. That's right. Yeah.
I like those moments where it just kind of gets back to the past. But yeah, so we get disconnected from Henry and Sam. We meet up with them later, and Joel punches the shit out of him. He's like, no. And he's like, hey, would you have done the same thing in my shoes? And he's like, fuck.
And he also
I love that too, because he's even got the gun to his head and he's ready to fucking go. Yeah. And he's like, what would you have done? It's like, And then even Ellie's like, wouldn't we be safer in numbers, Joel? And he's like,
to be fair, they also
don't bring logic into this.
They also saved both of them because they were in the water, like drowning.
Ellie can't swim.
So
yeah, Ellie can't swim exactly.
Right after that,
Joel was knocked out, and Ellie was right. Was Joel knocked out?
Yeah.
He
hit by that rock.
Yeah.
So right after that, we actually get what was my favorite side story, and what rumors when we were going into Left Behind was a rumor that we were going to get this instead was the Ish story.
I love Ish.
Yeah, Ish story was so heartbreaking.
Yeah, everyone thought like going before we got Left Behind, knowing we were gonna have a DLC. People thought we were gonna have an Ish DLC, which I would have been fine with. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that story is just rough, man. Like,
yeah, because it's like an orphanage or something like that, right? Or there's just like a bunch of kids are there, and he's like, is it the bodyguard or something like that? Or
Ish is
I kind of read through it pretty quick because
Ish was on the boat.
Yeah,
and he ended up living by himself. He ran into a family, and he's like, I can't just live like this alone. They have a kid; they have to be okay. So I'm gonna ask them to live with me. And then they go into the sewers. Someone left the door open once on accident, and then they just got fucked.
Yeah.
And then you go back, and when you get to the other side, you hear the stories. You read the stories from the other side. This guy's like, yeah, we found this raggedy man, and he came up to us, and he's offering us food and shelters. So I think we're gonna go do it. We're gonna go stay with him. That's a rough story because you go down there, and it's hard, man. You see like you see the boards.
I thought it was an orphanage because there was like when you go into that place, there's like writing on the wall.
Yeah, they're teaching them school stuff.
Yeah, school stuff. So I just thought it was like a bunch of people. Yeah, like a bunch
Yeah,
of kids.
they found some
there.
kids somewhere in that next town, and it just
Yeah,
brought them into the sewers with them to stay safe. And that,
yeah.
in theory, that's a fantastic spot.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah,
someone
and
left
that's
door
what he
open.
even says in one of his notes is, it's highly defensible. There's only one way in, one way out kind of thing. And
then
Yeah,
someone left the door open.
someone left the door open, so that fucked them.
And yeah,
Yeah.
you go through and yeah, you have to walk through like all like the small beds and stuff, and ooh, it's rough.
And I think what also helps with the poignancy of that one is even as you're going through, it's one of the few times in the games where they'll actively make comments on the notes that they're reading. Because there's a lot of times you'll find notes and it's just like, oh, well, that was interesting kind of little bits of information. Or, oh, that was kind of sad. And then they put the note away. But during this one, Joel and Ellie made a lot of comments after reading those notes. And it's just like, fuck, that's what happened. That's what got them. Or Ellie will be like, oh, as she kind of really understands the kind of weight of what happened during there.
There was one funny one though. I don't remember what the letter was, but it was like I'm gonna do this, and then Joel puts away, and he's just like, well, that was a fucking good idea, and that wasn't.
Speaking of which, just to backtrack for a moment, that was one of the things that I meant to bring up when we were talking during the Bill segment. We had that really heavy weight because this one thing this game also does pretty well too is it is really good at bringing the humor at just the right moments to just kind of, all right, we just went through a lot of heavy shit. Let's have a little laughy here. And that was one of those things with Bill where, lover left him, killed himself, left him in a letter saying, I'm better off dead than with living in a world with you. Joel's still struggling, processing Tess's death. And then Ellie's just like, I may have stolen something from Bill. And Joel's just like, what? And she's just like, Nudie Mag. And she's going through and she's like, why is it all sticky? And Joel's just like, oh.
She's like, I'm just fucking with it.
That was a great moment. It was the right moment to have because, like what you were saying earlier, Gore, in the hands of a lesser writing team, this could have been more easily strewn about like everywhere of just every single moment. No. Right after any moment, throw in something funny. This game really does a good job of balancing all right, we're going to throw a lot of shit on you, a ton of fucking shit. Okay, now that you feel like you're about to cry and, your heart's breaking, all right, we'll throw a little gag in there. Just a quick little thing, have a laugh, and fun.
I think
the Sam and Henry sequence is like perfect example of that.
I think the strongest moment of that actually, because we're going to talk about that in a second. Jump forward a little bit is the giraffe scene, which happens. Which happens after the David scene when you get the whole all fucked up thing and he stops, cuts to Utah. Everything's and there's like some silent moments and she's not really talking because she's been kind of fucked up and she's kind of upset about everything still. Then you see the giraffe and you hear the music kind of like for the first time you hear kind of like uplifting music. You hear like the nicer music, the more peaceful, serene stuff, and you just see the animals. And you stay there as long as you want. You can just kind of chill there and just watch. I think that's a good scene of like breaking that up. But you were saying with Henry and Sam.
Oh no, I was just saying like after Henry and Sam, that whole scene happens and it cuts to fall. I think right. Fall right after that. Yeah. Even that's just like a quiet moment. They Joel doesn't want to discuss it, and then they meet up with
Tommy.
There you go. So it's just like, oh, hey, brother, and they don't hate each other too, which is cool because
because you were kind of getting that
full build up. You think they're gonna hate because you heard like the last time they saw each other, Tommy said, "I don't want to ever see you again," and then when they see you,
I'm so glad that was so good because you lose your brother, you get mad at him, yeah, sure, and then he lives in Boston, you live in fucking Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You're never going to see your brother again, right? And then you show up again, and you're just like, fuck it, let's just forget about that for a second and be brothers.
Yeah, especially in the apocalyptic hell world they live in. It's like, yeah, no, holy shit, I didn't think you would ever be in my life again. All right.
And I love that moment where thanks for not shooting us. Yeah, well, it made it shooting my brother-in-law would have been kind of awkward.
Yeah. Good exposition to tell you that they're married too.
Yeah,
so.
I love they say, "Hey, I'm married now." It's smarter wordplay like that makes it better. But before we jump into Tommy,
we're jumping, and we should talk
Henry
about
Sam.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of levity, that starts with levity. And then so it reverses that shit. Where I guess there's a long event. You talk about it. You do this better than I do.
So you spend some time with them and you kind of grow, and then obviously we get the final cutscene with them where where even
We're talking
though
about motorcycles.
yeah,
and stuff.
even though Henry was only 5 when the apocalypse started, he still had some sort of memory of that life. He remembers barbecues, he remembers the motorcycles, and he's bonding with Joel with that. Even though there's a big age difference there, there's even you hear Ellie talk about, man, those two, you just can't separate them now. And then Ellie, you had a toy robot earlier in that, which also was awesome because you saw the Jack and Daxter and Uncharted board games in the background. But yeah, she faced it up for him because he wasn't allowed to keep it. But Sam's acting very weird, and you know something's up.
It's kind of obvious because I do want to when we're done talking about the scene, I do want to reverse a little bit, but
sure,
it's gonna be something negative. That's why. So
sure, well, you can talk about it now. It's fine.
No, because we're building up. It's not a scene really. It's a sequence, I guess.
So yeah, there's something up obviously because he's acting funny, asking about death and stuff, and she's just like, no, and she doesn't want to say I'm immune, but she's like, no, I'm not really scared. Like it's because he asked like, are you ever scared? He's like, what'd she ask? She says something funny like
you like spiders and
something like that, right? She was like, oh, I'm scared of like
she's scorpions. Scorpions are pretty
scorpions.
Creepy.
That was what it was.
Scorpions are.
And he's like, oh, this bitch is just treating this like a joke. And she's just like, I mean, that's kind of what I'm genuinely more afraid of. And the kid's just like, you are never afraid of those fucking things out there? And she's just like, I can't really say why I'm not really afraid of them, but...
Yeah, and like he starts talking about like, is there a heaven, pretty much, and stuff like that. Do you believe in that?
Right.
And it's like it's very obvious something's wrong.
Yeah, and then you pull up the leg. I'm glad they didn't keep it. I'm glad they're like, hey, we'll just say it. We don't have to beat around the bush any that longer. And he pulls up and he was bitten.
Bitten.
And then you go to sleep, wake up the next day, and then sure enough, everything's happy dory. You know, Henry's like, hey, I made some food, letting Sam sleep in. Go wake him up. Go in there, scream, and then I love the tenseness of this moment. You know, it's so much is just getting released right now. You know, it's a brother whose mission in life for what is it, like 80% of his life
20 years
has been the apocalypse, right?
Oh,
and then
I guess his brother's probably like 10. So
yeah,
10
but 80% of his life is apocalypse, and then so that means a large, maybe even half of his life, almost half his life was spent protecting his brother, right? He failed in that. Which also was awesome gunplay scene when you're having to protect everyone when they're all coming out the house, you know. That was hard as fuck. I hated that.
Getting to the house was a nightmare.
Sniper was fucking a bitch, and I hated that guy. But but gunning everyone down at the end was pretty funny.
Well, that's my negative, but we'll talk about it.
Sure.
Sure.
And then Sam's bitten, almost attacks Ellie. Joe gets him out and pulls out his gun, and Henry's like, "Nuh-uh." And
he doesn't say that.
but he just points it out.
No,
but he points it out there, and there's this tenseness because you know, like Joel does that, just does like the he puts the hand out protecting his head, but you know it's not gonna do anything.
He says screw this too. If he gets shot, then whatever. He has to help Ellie.
Yeah.
He's like whatever, and then Henry ends up killing Sam, which I thought was bold because in any other, like we keep saying, like lesser writers, they would make it so that Henry just doesn't do it, and then somebody else has to do it.
Yeah, he would probably like say something like, "I can't go through with it." You know,
The Walking Dead does that.
Yeah, I was just about to say Walking Dead. But to be fair, though, Walking Dead's a little different, though.
They give you
a little bit different because it's double impact. Because I don't want to spoil it, but that'll
be a Games Gone By eventually, I think.
Oh yeah, but double bad things happen to that character in a row, so it's just like. It's like, yeesh.
So different, but yeah, no, it was handled very elegantly because the stakes were high. Like you see immediately how fucked up this made Henry, you know.
Yeah.
And he looks off hinge and then just fuck it and then kills himself.
And he shoots himself.
And then cut.
Fall, like, which they do that a lot of cuts and then just
time skip
the season bottom right. Yep, time skip. And I thought that was that's why I think it adds a little bit of levity because it could have just been like a continuation of that scene and they're like, we don't know what to do, but levity just like, what the fuck, and then just like, all right, just cool down, let's solve a puzzle, let's find our brother, fight some dudes, let's just forget about it a little bit, and then we have that nice little reunion.
But there is a moment where you pull back and you come across a small like baby grave.
Yeah.
And then it kind of gets brought up again. He's just trying to like say, don't worry about it. But Ellie is like obviously beat up about it, you know?
Yeah. And if you play as Ellie later and you look at all of her stuff, If you like touch the Sam toy or whatever, she'll be like, "That was a stupid fucking idea. I shouldn't have given it to him or whatever." And it's just like, eesh. That's later though, obviously.
Right.
So what was the complaint you were going to bring up, Gore?
All right, so the whole sniper sequence, I've always had a problem with that because there's a moment earlier where you get caught in Bill's trap and you have to like defend yourself from clickers and
that was hard too. Yeah.
No, it's not hard. I don't care if it's hard. It's just really like the whole game is pretty realistic for the most part. Like with the ammo and stuff, you don't have too much ammo. You have to, like,
how you kind of go Rambo for a second, or
and you go Rambo, but it's just like you have like this infinite sniper that like has you don't need to worry about ammo, and it's like fucking 20 dudes showing up, and it feels very generic, I think. And even playing it now, it was like the last thing I played until I stopped.
I kind of like.
I was just like, I don't. Especially since I don't like how the sniper handled too.
I hate going to the sniper. Sniper sucked ass because I'm like, motherfucker, I'm inside.
I thought I didn't like it either, really, but I thought it was a cool idea. Just like you have to like, because I don't know, Ellie and fucking and Sam and Henry didn't really help me there, but they're supposed to like. They didn't help me, but I do like the idea that you take a couple shots, let him shoot maybe once, and then fucking like move up, you know. But that guy was a dick because he would always scream at me like, "Yeah, I see you, asshole!" I'm like, "Fuck."
How can you see me? I'm hiding in a bedroom right now.
Yeah, motherfucker, I see you. I'm like, shit, this guy. I can't wait to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, no, that I get that.
Yeah, I just don't like sequences like that in games that are trying to be
unlimited. Yeah.
It's like they were like, you know what? Let's put some Uncharted shit in here now. I'm just like, it's not.
That's fair.
You shouldn't. Like we go put Crash Bandicoot in it next. What the fuck? That'd be dope.
Next season.
Joel like spinning around like Crash.
Yeah, just PlayStation All Stars 2.
Hell yeah, Crash and Joel. Yeah, Joel could definitely be in PlayStation All Stars. Ellie's in
old man.
Old Ellie and old Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see Tommy, and to fast forward because there's a lot of just of conversations and battles. It's fine. We go to the house, and I think that's the moment where what I mentioned earlier was a moment where. Joel's really pushing away from Ellie, being like, "No, you're with Tommy. I don't want to do this." But Ellie felt hurt because like she's causing all this friction already. She's like, "I'm just trying to get. I'm not. I don't want a part of this. Like I didn't ask to be immune. I didn't do any of this. In fact, and as we'll mention later, she's like, I wanted to die with fucking Riley. You know, I wanted to do all that, but I'm not. Here I am, and now you guys are fighting over. Now we got them fighting because of me. It's just like I just don't want any part of this. So eventually, and I love that moment where they're back together and Joel's like, "Hey, you can take the horse back. I'll take Ellie." And she doesn't even say it. She just kind of like smiles and kind of goes with you.
Yeah, he asks like, "Where is it again?" He's just like, "All right, I'm out. See you later, brother." I really like that scene. That's really good. This game has good scenes. I don't know if you.
It's so good.
Speaking of which, to go back a moment too. That was another thing too, where again the little moments where they do have those bonding scenes, where when you first lead up to Ellie getting to be able to have a gun, she saves Joel from Bennett that's just mashing him, trying to fucking drown him in this little puddle, and she shoots and kills the guy, and Joel freaks out. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" She's like, "I'm saving you, asshole." It was either you or him.
That was a literal quote too. "I'm saving you, asshole." And then when you had that, you're gonna hit everyone down there. She's like, "What? You want me to stay out here again?" She's like, "No, you're gonna cover me." Also, you're right. It was me or him. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, she says you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the whole time she's like just fuming and just wanting some kind of apology. And as you're going through, he's like, "All right, hey, help me push this piano." And she's like, "Are you sure I can be trusted with that?" Yeah. And just being a smart ass little bitch throughout the whole thing. And I loved it.
That's another thing that God of War is similar to. It's
exactly.
That sequence where your companion character is just being a smarmy little asshole. And this one makes more sense.
Yeah, that was the most annoying part in God of War.
We are gods.
Yeah, I was like,
well, I didn't mean that. I meant like just like parts in the game where you just act like a dick to.
I'm at the other way around.
Yeah, and
anyway,
you always act like a dick to him.
So we get where Joel falls in the fucking spike in the hospital later, or it was the university. Falls on spike, gets fucked up. Ellie does some fucking badass shit. She's like, "I got you." And I love the line that she's like,
it was rebar.
She was like, yeah. And she's like,
If
"Hey,
it was spiked, you'd be fucking dead.
Laura Croft."
Because rebar pushes his organs away, so that's the only reason why he even survived that.
I like that. Yeah, it was. What'd she say? She was like, "I swear to God, you're gonna sing to me when I get out of this." And
Yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah.
You wish,
like,
you wish,
you wish, yeah, you wish.
And that was another thing too, where I loved how Left Behind kind of fully filled in the blanks of how she has this knowledge. Because throughout the whole game, there are moments where Joel's like, "How the fuck do you know how to ride a horse?" And she's like, "I fucking learned it at military school." And there's a lot of those other little moments, and so Left Behind filling in and actually kind of getting some of that knowledge firsthand was really cool.
I also love.
You actually see Riley's thing if you, yeah, that's what you're gonna say. Yeah, if you look through her backpack, you see Riley's thing, and she says, "I miss you" or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, "What the fuck? The hell is that?"
DLC? So then we do that hard cut to winter, which is one of my favorite moments, where you see that the rabbit get killed, and you wonder.
Yeah, everybody has a great reaction to that because they're like, "Oh my god, what happened?" It's always that reaction is just like, "I don't want to see this," or "Oh, it's so cute," like that classic one with the girls. It's so cute, and then fucking gets skewered. But I think my reaction at the time was just like, "The fuck happened? What is this?" And then it's just like. It's like, all right,
we're so good.
Because especially where you had that, again, another super emotional scene, where Joel falls off the horse and she's just fucking begging him, "Get up, tell me what the fuck to do," and just cut.
Yeah, and then
can I also just say that deer hunting scene was bullshit. I don't know what the fuck I was doing wrong, but I had to chase that thing in a circle like fucking 10 times.
You were too loud.
I think that's what you have to do.
You have to do it like twice, and then it goes off to another direction.
I'm pretty sure I remember that. Yeah.
We get that run to David, have a whole scene with him where she kind of like starts trying to talk her way into getting medicine for Joel. They have a whole thing, and then we get to the point where eventually they come back, and he's like, "Hey, I was trying to hunt out this old man, little girl. That's crazy, huh?" And she's like, "Uh-oh, I'm out." She gets
then the henchman comes in with the gun.
Yeah.
And then David's. At this point, you still don't know if you played it the first time. You don't know exactly what his David's deal because David's just like, "No, just give her the medicine, and let her go." And you're like, even playing it the first time, I'm like, they're probably gonna track her.
Well, you're like, is that Nolan North? He's gonna be in here longer, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, the first time I played it is just like you can't tell it's Nolan North. But there's one part where he yells. I remember, and even like I watched the rest of the what I didn't play. I watched a playthrough for. Recently. So, and it just there's one part where he yells at Ellie, doesn't know her name yet. And I was just like, yeah, I can hear Nolan North there. But for the most part, you can't tell it's Nolan North. Right. Like, that's his most distinct performance. Because most of the time, it's just Nolan North.
Right. And also, can I just say that segment with all those fucking clickers was horse shit?
Oh, yeah, where you end up... Yeah, I remember that being really fucking annoying back then. That was
my favorite thing was always throwing a brick at them and just charging ahead, like, first just to stab him with the shiv.
Yep.
Right. It's always funny watching her fucking like jump up on somebody.
Rodeos them, yeah. God, I love it. Especially when it's the last motherfucker. I'm like, oh, you're getting it.
Yeah. It makes me excited for gameplay wise, just what Ellie's gonna do in the next game.
Well, now she's like taller than them now, so.
Yeah, well, I know, but like she has to still do that, right? Because that's like that was her technique for the longest time. Yeah, jump up on a motherfucker, do some John Wick shit. You know, John Wick always jumps on motherfuckers.
Because that was the thing. Like first switching to Ellie, you also felt the difference between Joel and Ellie, because a lot of times when you play games like this, again, lesser studios, there really isn't a difference in gameplay. It's like, yeah, it feels the same. But when you first have to melee to try and save yourself as Ellie, damn, you feel that fucking difference, because she just kind of has that little switchblade that just, it kind of knocks them back briefly, but they're still gonna fuck you up if that's your last resort. And
Joel goes into fucking boxing mode, it can take out some motherfuckers.
Exactly.
By the way, melee in this game, I love melee.
Melee was super fun. I had a lot of fun.
It feels so good when you
especially when you're next to a wall and you just smash his head.
Yes. Give him a little bit of business.
Dude, when that guy almost shoved your hand into the shard of glass, and you put him around, you're like, nope.
Fuck you, you go in it.
Anyway, so
you like it.
So we get back to Joel. You hear people outside. She's like, well, I gotta get out of here. She gets out of there, and then there's a whole ordeal where she gets caught eventually.
Yeah, and this is where it gets weird.
Yeah, so she's in jail, in a jail cell. you see him chopping up a body there, and you're
Yes.
like, well, they're gonna eat me. And goes out there. David comes back acting like kind of caring, like he tried to be like, I see like you're loyal and this and that. And then Ellie grabs his hand and said,
No. He grabs her hand first. It's like,
she's resting on the bars,
straight.
and then he gets that very sensual kind of.
Yeah. And then she grabs his hand back, and then
and then that's when she tells him because the whole thing she doesn't know her name, and he's just like, my name's Ellie. Tell everybody that a little fucking girl broke your hand. It's so good.
But yeah, so that's where it gets into the creepy thing, and especially what I find the creepiest and most effective of that is he has a line towards the end of that segment where she's like, you were constantly bullshitting, you're just a sleazy person from the beginning. She's like, I have been nothing but genuine with you the whole time, and that I felt was the most skin crawling part of it because it was true. Throughout the whole thing, he was being genuine about his intents throughout the whole thing. It's just it was always under that kind of double layer of what he was saying. He genuinely wanted her to be safe. He genuinely wanted to make sure she was taken care of and to look out for his own pleasures. And that was just a perfect skin crawl fucking moment for me, where I was like, all right, but yeah, no, again, a lesser studio would have handled that so much worse in so many ways.
So then you get that boss fight where essentially you're kind of following him around, which is terrifying when he sees you, though, and he just comes
because he just like shoves a machete right in your back if he catches up with you.
Yeah, and you see him just running after you, you're like, oh god, and you're just fucking running for dear life and trying to dodge anything, and yeah, they get knocked out, and then you have a blood rage Joel.
Yeah, Joel, my boy's back.
Seething.
He's feeling better. He's like, all right, where's my daughter, surrogate? I gotta find I gotta find new daughter. Where is she? Yeah. And
new Sarah. I'm here, new Sarah. If you start calling her new Sarah, Sarah too.
This is definitely the turn, like we were kind of talking about earlier, where we really have come to a point where Joel now really does genuinely open up to her. His heart's open.
This is the part I was talking about earlier when I said this is one of my favorite parts.
He dragged his ass on a horse to save him, like all this way. Like, fuck yeah, it's ride or die now.
Yeah, exactly. And there are some motherfuckers that are gonna die. We already talked about the scene already, but man, that tense fucking scene where he's got those two bandits left, and one's tied up in the chair, one's tied up to a radiator. And he's like, "All right, you're gonna point to where on this map they are,
and it better be where your buddy pointed at."
Yeah, because he stabs him and then puts the knife in his mouth or whatever, a shiv or whatever, and then he's just like, you better label it with your mouth, which is great. And if it's not the same thing, I'll fucking kill both of you. And then he just kills that dude, and then he kills the other dude because he believed him.
Yeah.
He just wanted to scare him. He wanted to scare him to the point where he will definitely tell you the truth.
Joel, like, at this point is fucking just like,
he does something even more badass later, which I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he's just like, you will tell me this and I will find her. And and then we after a whole thing, he finds her, and he finds her like mid destroying the shit out of David.
Yeah, and this is the part I was talking about where she's just fucking going at him with a machete just to straight, and we don't even see the aftermath.
No,
so
Naughty Dog like, I'm glad, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see any other motherfucker in the game get exploded and get their head cut off, but stuff like that, you don't need to see what a little girl did, especially a character you like, just grotesque shit she just did. So, like, everything else, when it comes to violence, it makes sense story-wise. Here, it wouldn't have made sense if they showed it. But, like, that's one of my favorite parts, where that's really solidified the relationship right there to, like, Joel definitely caring about Ellie, where he keeps calling her baby girl. So right, and she's like fucking freaking out. It's so good. I love that scene. And then that's another hard cut to the next season.
Giraffes.
Again, another fantastic cut.
Yeah.
Now we get into Salt Lake. This is where we see we have a little bit of quiet moment. We see the giraffe, which is a beautiful scene.
Yeah. Classic scene.
I kind of like that scene because it kind of really shows Earth is taking everything back, now.
Yeah, and they built up to that scene too, especially even with the monkeys. Remember the monkey scene earlier? Like, they build up to stuff.
Right.
It's not just randomly this giraffes. It makes sense. There's a zoo nearby for the monkeys. I think that's why they're there. and giraffes. I'm assuming the same thing. But all right, good. There was a zoo at least.
No, David, what'd you get of that scene? Because that's one of the more popular scenes.
The giraffe scene?
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like the perfect kind of capstone to really let you just breathe. Because like you guys said, you can just sit there and wait as long as you want. And I actually took a good solid like minute and a half to just kind of breathe from all that.
It felt nice because, like I said, like even though everything's fucked up, it's like you see the world kind of rebuilding, and then there's giraffes just walking together, like hanging out.
Yeah, and you have that scene where you just like watch them leaning up a thing and just watching the giraffes. Yeah, you can leave it as long as you like you said.
Yeah, and it's just a very beautiful and kind of poignant moment. And like you said earlier, the music is the most uplifting track that exists in the whole fucking soundtrack, honestly.
That is like the one piece you'll get that is uplifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, it was that perfect moment, and it really was the turning point of, okay, nope, this is family now. This is truly a father and daughter right here. And I feel like it also perfectly helps to set the tone for everything else to come. Because it's like, okay, no. After all that crazy shit, we have this one serene moment. We get their last bit of like real happiness. Mm-hmm. And this is the last time they're ever really going to be happy for the rest of this game. And man, holy fuck, what a ride after that.
Yeah.
And then we get into you go into a whole sewer thing.
You fight about 4 fucking bloaters. I remember that.
Yeah.
I watched a playthrough too. I was watching like a playthrough with no audio. I mean, no audio. That'd be weird. No commentary. So I was just like, see if I remember any of this shit. I was just like, oh, is this the part where like 2 fucking bloaters show up and it sucks? I watched this guy playing it and he just fucking destroys them immediately. I'm like,
I got to that scene. I got to that part of the game and I'm like, I know what's going to happen if I flick that generator on. It's going to spawn a bunch of bullshit I don't want to deal with.
Right.
Can I just like do this without doing this? And it's like, nope, got to do it. And that was actually the one time in the game I actually chose not to fight everything and I just fucking bolted. Because I don't know how you guys played it, but up to this point, I usually try to kill most things before kind of continuing on. If I was really low on resources, I'd eventually say it's not worth it. Fuck it. I'm just going to hold on to what I have and move on. And then that scene shifted my style of no, I'm only doing stealth or I'm only bolting, which kind of actually I feel killed the tension of the last part of the game for me, because by the time I got to that very last segment of the game, I was loaded like a fucking armory.
No,
because
I killed everyone. I still had everything. I was like set. I was
okay.
I was playing it. I was pretty much consistently.
I don't remember running out of ammo.
Yeah, once you get good at it, you kind of just have consistent ammo.
Okay, so it wasn't just because I got really stingy. It's just genuinely
because what I'm gonna say about the last part is I called it the hospital blood rage. Where
that is no stealth. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Is literally you learn. They're like, all right, we're gonna sacrifice Ellie. Like she's not gonna live. And Joey's like, what? And you're like, yeah, get out of here. And then kills that guy. And from then on, I'm like, all right, we're gonna go in.
You know what really upset me there? Well, really, like at that point, Marlene, I was just like done with completely. Is like she says like I don't remember the line, but she pretty much says like this is your reward. You leave, right? Like you don't die. Pretty much is what she insinuates.
Yeah.
Like no, I was like, where the fuck are my guns? How about that? Huh?
Yeah. So
asshole.
Like, but then you get everything back, and then, dude, I was loaded up. That's when you still get a new gun. You get the AK at that part.
Yep.
But
which kind of sucks. I remember that.
AK,
I remember that gun.
AK feels badass.
I was watching that playthrough. I was just like, ooh.
AK feels badass though. You know, it's like you are playing like for it looks badass. I should say, because you're just gunning out there and you're gunning it down. But dude,
I remember still using the shotgun.
Dude, I saved a lot of my flamethrower stuff at the very end. So I was loaded up on flamethrower stuff. So bloaters died. There was no bloaters were just fucking instant, like done. But I'd never used a flamethrower until that very last part with bloaters. So I had a lot of ammo. And I went in there, I'm just fucking torching shit. I'm just fucking going in there, like, just lighting the place up, throwing. I had full nail bombs. I had full Molotovs. I was like, bitches, give me fucking Ellie, dude. I'm going here.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing too, is I love that whole build up where Marlene's like, I thought of all people you'd understand, the sacrifice of one life to save all of humanity, and Joel's just like, no, I don't understand it at all. And then that kind of
Honestly, fuck humanity. Like this world sucks now. Everybody's killing each other. Like all the bandits. Like that's all. Almost all the NPCs you fucking come to, besides like Bill and I guess Sam and Henry, but they're dead. Everybody sucks. They're all like murderers, pedophiles, fucking just all this shit. I'm like, fuck this world. This world sucks.
And it's not even guaranteed that it'll fix it. They're just like,
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna kill her, and maybe we'll find something out.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So
but when you find her though, and you go into that hospital room like we mentioned, this guy pulled out a knife. I'm like, you're just dead. You don't do that to me. Yeah. There are 2 people there, and that's when you either if it's your first playthrough and you're invested as you should be, you just see red.
Yep, that was me.
All you see is red, because if you didn't notice, those doctors are hiding their faces saying, "Please God, don't shoot." Although the one is, the other one said, "You're fucking crazy."
They're nurses.
The nurse said, "You're fucking crazy." I shot her, and the other guy's like, "Please God, don't."
Yeah, no, I saw him bang. I'm like, nope, too late, asshole. Because that's why I was so surprised that you could actually just not kill those 2. Because I'm like, well, Joel's in a blood rage right now. Fuck, I'm in a blood rage right now. I'm taking my daughter back. We're fucking leaving. What? Well, you are the fuckers that were going to tear her apart? No, you don't get to live. You're not innocent in this. Shut up.
In my eyes, my Joel, the way I played him, at least the first time, I did not kill those nurses. I'm pretty sure I killed that first doctor. I think you have to. I'm pretty sure I just shot him in his face.
He walked up with a knife, and I'm like, no, you're dead.
You know what? I want to say maybe my second playthrough, I just threw a bomb in there, which I don't. I think I might have just seen someone do that.
Yeah, with Ellie in there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can kill her.
No, you can't. But just the idea, like, all right,
fuck it. I want to actually see it. I'm pretty sure I saw that, or I did it. I don't know. Well, it might have been me, because I used a lot of those fucking nail bombs, man. I back then and now when I was playing it now, when fucking Bill gives it to me, I'm like, oh, fucking finally. I love those things. Whenever I had enough scrap to use one, I'm like, all right, fucking wait until this one gets a little bit closer so I can kill 3 of them. Fucking throw a bottle at it.
But yeah, no, because like for me, it was just one of those things that after that whole torture murder scene back at the Bandit Village there, I was like, nope. I know what Joel is like when he's angry, and
dude,
this motherfucker's not letting anyone live. And
you see how he is. You see how he is in the beginning of that sequence, because this is another badass. This is the best I can't say the word interrogation. I was gonna say negotiation. It's not a negotiation. It's an interrogation. Where he's like, he grabs the guy that keeps telling him like, fucking go or whatever, get out of here, I'll kill you, and he just grabs that guy's fucking gun, and then he's just like, all right, where is she? You know what, fuck this, and just blows his dick off. Which I
don't got fucking time for this shit.
Yeah, and then the guy tells him, and he just shoots him.
Yep.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and that's when you feel though, you're like, bro.
Yeah, blood rage, bro.
Blood rage.
But I still don't think the nurses needed to die.
No, they needed to die. They were complicit.
Yeah, well, if you throw a pipe bomb, then fine. Or whatever.
They were complicit. They died.
So we get away with her. It's an awesome scene where you're running away with her. You go down the elevator, and there's convenient Marlene chilling down there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, she's chilling down there.
She's just there. She's like,
I love.
And she knows what's happening already.
I love the interweaving they did though, where it was like, it skipped past what happened. You see her in the car, and then it kind of comes back to show you what actually happened. That was cool.
Yeah, what actually happened.
The gun underneath Ellie that he was hiding. But then we get to the end, which is pretty much like you go back to Tommy's. You decide. You get to the end, and this is the part, David, I don't know if you knew, is that all the test audiences that they gave the game to, everyone hated this ending. Apparently, they did not want this ending. They did not want this ending. But Naughty Dog was like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna keep this ending.
Yeah, test audiences, I don't know if you know this, are dumb fucks. So, like, they don't know anything.
Fair.
So,
I mean, clearly, at least in this instance, because this was such a powerful
a lot of instances.
ending.
Yeah,
Holy
so
shit.
it's such a crazy, like, the very end, like, you have this bond as now father-daughter, you know, and everything, and all she does, and you kind of see it in her eyes, too, which is great in the remaster. The remaster looks fucking phenomenal still. You see it in her eyes, she's like, and you can tell she's been thinking about this, you know? She's like, hey, was all that stuff he said, the Fireflies, and how they were just, like, there was a bunch of it, is that all true? Or do you swear it?
I swear.
I swear.
And she's like, okay. And
Because what's even more
Another
poignant
good
to
cut.
that is before going up there, you're having this kind of additional conversation with her of like, Sarah, because this is also the first
You and my
time
daughter
it
would have
really
been best
opens up.
friends. Like,
Yeah,
that's fucking
you
nuts.
and Sarah would have been best friends, and I think you two would have really liked each other. And this is the first time in the entire game Joel really opens up about his daughter, his first daughter, at all, and especially let alone to Ellie. And she's just very quiet throughout. It's like this moment that you would think it's like, okay, this is what she's been wanting. She's been wanting him to kind of open up and kind of learn more about his actual life, and he's finally happy. He's yep, this is family now, and she's now the one withdrawing and just kind of be like, I don't know. And then that whole, are you sure that happened the way it said you did? He's like, 100%, just so straight face lying to her.
Yep.
And cut.
Yep.
Yeah, no, a lot of people did not like the ending, which is funny because when you look at it and if you're watching this the day we just got, we didn't. I guess Last of Us Part 2 is leaked. There have been some details. David has read the spoilers in full. Gore's caught some of the spoilers. I caught some of the spoilers. We haven't looked too much into me and Gore are avoiding them. David doesn't really care. But the general consensus is a lot of people do not like this. Gore included does not really like the
what I read, I do not like.
But I think it goes to show that if people didn't like this ending, but the way they built up to it worked out, I think that should give some confidence in that, like, maybe there's something that Naughty Dog can bring to the table.
But if this ending was written out to me, I would say that's a pretty good ending. Like this ending.
We know that in hindsight, though.
I like a good. I like a good. Well, no, even first time playing it, I didn't think it was like unsatisfying.
No, I loved it. I loved it though.
Yeah. I'm just saying, even written out, I think this ending would be great. I'm assuming the test audiences had like some like a what did they have, like a shitty version of it, or was it like
they just didn't like the ending? It's like I Am Legend. Remember how that
was? I know, but I'm confused on what the test. What did the test audiences see? Do you know that?
They played the game.
Was it just okay, a tester? I'm thinking test audiences for like movies and shit.
No,
where like it's months before the fucking movie even comes out, so they can fix it. Okay, they played the game. Okay, so just the tester, the quality assurance people, I guess. Okay. All right. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Absolutely powerful ending, very poignant, and I know a lot of people, based on the spoilers, we touched about this a lot during the podcast. Not a lot. We try to be as vague as possible, but we did touch about it a little bit on the podcast proper. But I am very excited. Based on the things I read in the spoilers, I know there's a lot of people that are just like, nope, this is stupid, don't like it, whatever their reasons or logic behind it. I feel that it is a very fantastic continuation of where this left off at. I'm really excited to see it play out. As long as the writing is as strong as it is in here, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, I know I will absolutely love the second game. Honestly, probably even maybe more than the first, if only just because it had the first to give it the weight of what's going to happen. And I'm excited for it. But no, this was definitely a game, as you guys mentioned. This is a recurring theme for this podcast here of Games Gone By, where you guys are like, hey, we're going to play this game. I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to
it's a recurring theme of me telling you you're going to like this game. You're going to
because like even Inside, I was like, I don't know.
Oh, was that Inside? Okay.
Yeah, because Inside I was the same way. I'm like, I don't know. There's like no real gameplay.
I guess he did.
Watch Dogs 2, the gameplay was.
I didn't tell you to like the story. I never said you liked the story. I said you liked the fun gameplay.
The fun.
Yeah, and I did have fun watching other people kill each other, and then I go clean up after.
Let's just say, I feel like Gore's gonna be hitting himself another home run here when he plays a certain game that's to his left.
Huh? I'm sorry, what? I blanked out for like the last 10 seconds.
I said, you're going to hit another home run here when you play a certain game that's to your left.
Zelda.
I should be a dick.
But no, I will say the same thing I have said about all these games.
No, I have a BioShock Infinite poster here. You guys can't see. Daisy Fitzgerald poster. Maybe I'll pick that one though.
I'd be okay with that. It was a phenomenal game.
Oh, never mind. Well, I ain't picking it, though. Now I can't put this away. Shit.
Whenever you put your blinds out, it looks like it's fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, it's because the light
I know,
shining on me.
It looks like it's fucking daytime.
Well, it's not. I don't know if you know this, but
Oh no!
Why do you have blinds in front of blinds?
This is how the fucking don't even talk. That's how the fucking
came this way. I don't know. I didn't.
it
make
did come this way. It did.
I don't know how to take blinds down. I just fucking.
Why not? I like them because
Anyway,
that means nobody can see me.
We're running very long, so
Yeah, well, I mean, what are you gonna do? I figured that considering what the game was.
We're gonna touch on Left Behind a little bit.
Yes.
I guess we kind of already did.
No, we touched on it a lot, so we don't have to go back to it too much. It's a great side story, interweaving the part where she is protecting Joel, and going back to moments with her and Riley. A lot of cool moments. I love the arcade scene together. I knew David would love that scene. The second I hit that, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this, and David's gonna fucking love it.
And I did. That was absolutely fantastic little bonding moment between them. And I thought it was even cool how it brought up like the fighting game kind of graphics to it and went along with the story of it. That was just such a great piece between those two, both aesthetically and just in terms of the conversation that was going. It was absolutely beautifully done. Loved that.
Right. You get the part where they're dancing. They're having a good time. They're hanging out. They did the jokes. I went to the fortune teller, went through like 9 or 10 of them before I walked away.
I made sure I kept doing it until it stopped, and just partially because I fucking loved all that dialogue. It ended on a stupid no, are you a butt face? No, all right. Yes, you are. Cool. All right, and then it just stops, and I'm like, I
liked it. They're still fucking 14 years old.
There.
But I loved all those. It was like, what was it? It was another one. It was
You just said, "Are you a fuck face?" I remember there. Considering.
The one is she asked, "Am I gonna ever grow boobs?"
I've seen the trailer for Last of Us Part 2.
Sorry, the fortune was right, Ellie. Sorry.
Well, that was the thing. Is like basically all those fortunes were kind of right.
Yeah.
Well, I meet a grizzled guy played by Troy Baker later in my life. That's weird.
I guess, but I don't know.
A really weird fortune.
But yeah, no. So that was super awesome. The dance scene, and then sure enough, they get caught, and you kind of know what's gonna happen, because they've always said it in the thing. You knew if you saw it through her backpack initially, you knew where it was going, and she even said it actually. She said the ending.
Yeah. I was with my best friend.
They had some Romeo and Juliet moment, and it just never happened for her.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you didn't see that part. It still leaves that part, like how exactly it went down, like what exactly happened after they just sat down together, knowing they were both bitten. You don't know how that happened. Yeah, but you leave it to the imagination, which
you can envision it.
Yeah.
She probably turned. She probably had to fight her off.
Yeah.
And then she wondered why the fuck she didn't turn.
Yeah. So Left Behind, awesome. Another piece of DLC that's just fucking awesome. We should get more single player DLCs in games these days.
Well, we might for Last of Us 2, I have a feeling.
Yeah. But all in all, I also
Max Effect 3 ending.
Hey, guess what? Doom Eternal has some fucking single player DLC. It's coming.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be really emotional. So.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be emotional. I'm gonna feel all kind of like what's a good emotion that makes you feel good? Happiness, hate. Happiness and hate. My two favorite fun emotions.
Anyway, so
I
we'll
hate
wrap
these
this
demons
up.
and I'm happy they're dying.
We'll wrap this up because Gore and I are gonna play A Way Out for like an hour or so after this.
Yeah.
So last thoughts.
Man.
Last thoughts for me. Again, the gameplay is the weakest point of this game. There's certain parts I feel like didn't age well. The checkpointing system is bullshit. But the story, absolutely phenomenal. I'm almost kind of glad I didn't give the game a full chance back when I did, because kind of like what you were saying, there's so many games you wish you could go back and experience for the first time. Like Doki Doki is one of those games for me where that's part of why I push so many people to give it a try, even if I know it's not necessarily in their wheelhouse, because I like seeing those initial reactions as people go through it. And this was definitely that game for me where it's like, I'll probably come back and I'll get an itch to go through the story again, but it's not going to have the same weight as the first time around. It's wonderful. Absolutely love the characters in it, the good and the bad. And bad and good characters, not like in terms of there's bad writing or anything like that. But I mean, the villains, fantastic, creepy, skin crawling in their own ways. cannot wait for Left 4 Dead 2. Or like, God damn it, did it again.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Last of Us 2.
Same game.
Yeah. I wish that was the last thing that was said during this
can't wait for Left 4 Dead 2.
discussion.
Fantastic game.
Left Behind 2. Wait, I'm sorry.
It's still...
You think they'll do a Left Behind again? Like it'll be called Left Behind, but it's like no, it's not continuing. It'll be like something else.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, she's just called Left Behind 2.
Left Behind again. And then it starts out. It's like Home Alone 2. It's like, how do they keep leaving us behind?
It's such a good game. It still resonates to this day. And dude, some of the stuff hit very close to home. Like even now, where when you were in Billstown and you were reading that kid's notes, and it was like, Dad said, or Mom said the quarantine's bullshit, or Dad said the quarantine's bullshit. Mom's kind of worried right now. We're not supposed to go out anymore. And I'm like, huh? That's crazy, man.
That's weird, bro.
Yeah, it was an awkward time to be playing this game.
Yeah, that's why when I got to that moment, I was like, I wonder if this might be why it's delayed, just because it's like kind of like a fucked up moment right now. That we because people have been bringing up
David would know. He read the entire fucking plot.
People are bringing up Rainbow Six Quarantine. They're like, well, I guess they got to change that name of that game.
Rainbow Six, not Quarantine.
Rainbow Six, we all hang out.
Rainbow Six Freedom.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Patriot. Shout out.
Oh no, Patriot Siege.
Remember that one?
Yeah. With the story thing where you're like you're with your wife and then they just strap a vest on and you explode.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
And then we didn't hear about it, and then years later Siege came out and you're like, what the fuck?
And you're like, oh cool, another Rainbow Six game. This one doesn't have a story. Oh shit.
Anyway. That was exactly my reaction. It's like, yeah, I love Rainbow Six. This isn't fucking single player. What the fuck?
Where's Dingo Chavez? My favorite Rainbow Six character. That's a real name, by the way.
Phenomenal game. It still sticks to me, and I'm excited to bring it up more. Hopefully, by this time next year, when Last of Us Part 2 is settled down, I'm going to see where it lands in my top 5 if it still sticks true, which hopefully it does.
Yeah,
Gore?
it will. It's not gonna. I don't know if it'll be in my top 5. It'll probably be in my top 10 somewhere. It's fantastic. It's one of the best games out there. Some AI problems is the least of my concerns, really. I mean, not concern. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. Yeah, at least remember. There you go. Thank you. And I'm having a hard time here. And yeah, it's I'm worried for Last of Us Part 2. I really am. The last couple of days I've been really worried. But Naughty Dog has yet to make a bad game, I think. And I'm excited. I'm especially excited for that HBO show. Actually, I think of all video games out there, I think Last of Us is perfect movie and TV show candidate, especially TV show. TV show that I could see it working. I know some people probably aren't excited for that, but hey, it's HBO and it's being directed by the same guy, so why not? Neil Druckmann.
Just put Nolan North and Troy Baker in the roles. Yeah,
Nolan North could be
they're kind of feuding right now, so let's not do that.
And Ellen Page is Ellie.
That's all the better.
Oh, that's true.
Page
Yeah, they are feuding IRL, so.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're feuding, but not like I'm gonna murder you with a shiv bat or whatever. Like Joel. To be fair, Joel and David don't even really meet at all. So.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they don't even need to be on set.
One meets post life.
Yeah, well, you can get body double for that.
So there you go. That's that. Next in 2 weeks, stay tuned for Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Another very fun game.
There's happiness all around with Gore the Movie God, you know?
Yep, happiness.
Dead
what do you
Space,
want? Yeah,
Dead
Space.
War.
God of War. What remains of you?
It's just fucking happy.
That was a really happy game. Well, yeah, I mean,
Doki Doki was happy for a little while, at least.
Yeah. I was laughing at the end.
Barkley made me sad too, so David's there.
So did Street Fighter Cross Mega Guy.
Nocturne makes Gore sad.
Well, I haven't even played it yet, and I'm already crying.
The blob thing and Inside Me is confused.
The blob thing?
Sexually confused.
Oh, the blob? Are we going to play that in the future?
Shout out to David's new pick, The Blob.
Yeah. It's a movie about... never mind.
All right, goodbye.
I don't know. I was going to say it's a biopic about himself.